You ever notice how when you stop trying so hard, life has a strange way of working out? Like the moment you stop forcing things, they start falling into place naturally. It's almost like the universe rewards detachment. The same logic applies to women and relationships. You chase too much, you lose. You lean back, focus on yourself, and suddenly the attention comes back around. But when a woman starts pulling away, your gut tells you to fight for it, to explain yourself, to prove your value. That urge, that desperation is exactly what drives her further away. It feels like the right move in the moment, but it's rooted in fear, not strength. You're not trying to love her, more you're trying to stop yourself from losing something that makes you feel secure. You think if you just say the right thing, show her how much she means to you, she'll come back. But what you don't see is that this very energy is what's pushing her away. You're showing her that your emotional stability is dependent on her presence, and no woman finds that attractive. Love, desire, attraction. They don't grow in a place of pressure and emotional chaos. They grow in space, in confidence, in presence. You've been conditioned to think that effort equals results, that more pursuit means more love. But relationships don't follow the same rules as school or business. You don't win her over by chasing, especially not when she's already stepping back. You win her back by letting go. Not letting go of her, but letting go of the need to control. That shift is everything. The more you hold on, the more she slips away. But the second you release your grip and stand still in your worth, you flip the dynamic. You stop being the one begging to be chosen and start becoming the one she doesn't want to lose. When a woman starts pulling away, most men go into panic mode. They think something external is happening. Maybe she's losing interest. Maybe someone else is in the picture. Maybe she just changed. But the truth is, she's not pulling away at random. She's reacting. Reacting to a shift in your energy, your behavior, your presence. Women are emotional barometers. They don't respond to your words as much as they respond to how you make them feel. And when that feeling starts to change, they don't argue. They don't always explain. They just drift. In the beginning, you were probably grounded, self-assured, focused on your own path. She felt drawn to that. She felt the energy of a man who didn't need her to feel whole, a man she had to earn. But as things progressed, you started giving more than she asked for. You started checking in constantly, prioritizing her above everything, sacrificing parts of yourself just to keep her happy. What felt like love to you started to feel like emotional pressure to her. Here's what most men miss. Attraction isn't built through logic or effort. It's built through emotional polarity. The more you lean in, the more she leans out. The more you chase, the less space she has to feel desire. Because when something becomes too available, it loses its edge. And when you wrap your identity around a woman's attention, your energy becomes neat even if your words sound confident. She can feel it. She doesn't need an explanation. Your vibe already gave her one. If you want her to stop pulling away, stop chasing, stop fixing, start being. Be the man you were when she first wanted you. The man who moved with purpose, not anxiety. The man who didn't need her to validate his worth. That's the energy she's drawn to, not words, not gifts, not begging, just presence. Solid.com and secure. Attraction fades when everything becomes predictable. That's a harsh truth most men don't want to hear. But it's real. In the beginning, things were exciting because there was tension, uncertainty, a bit of mystery. She didn't know exactly how you felt, what you were going to say, or what you were doing next, and that created emotional charge. It made her feel, and feelings are what attraction is built on. But over time, as you became more available, more accommodating, more emotionally transparent, the excitement started to dull. Not because you became a bad partner, but because you became too familiar. When a woman can predict every text, every call, every move you'll make before you make it, there's no emotional friction left. And friction is what keeps desire alive. She stops wondering about you, stops fantasizing, stops feeling the pull, because she already knows she has you locked in. She no longer needs to invest emotionally, because there's no risk of losing you. You became safe, comfortable, expected, but comfort without tension kills attraction. This doesn't mean you should play games or pretend to be someone you're not. It means you need to stop orbiting around her. Stop building your day around her schedule. Stop giving her access to every thought and emotion you have in real time. Reclaim the parts of yourself that made you attractive in the first place. Your ambition, your independence, your focus. The version of you that had a life, that had purpose. That wasn't trying to win her but was simply being. When a woman feels like she has to earn your time and energy again, everything shifts. Not because you're withholding love, but because you're reestablishing value. Predictability drains the spark, but polarity brings it back. Be less expected. Be more in motion. Let her feel that you've got your own gravity again. Desire doesn't grow in constant closeness, it grows in space. That's something most men misunderstand. When things start to feel shaky with a woman, their first instinct is to close the gap, to text more, call more, ask more questions, and offer more reassurance. They think if they just stay close enough, she won't leave. But what they're doing is removing the very thing that creates desire. Distance. Space isn't your enemy. It's your leverage if you know how to use it. Think about anything in life you truly miss. You don't miss what's always in front of you. You miss what's gone. That favorite food you can't get anymore. The friend who moved away. The song you haven't heard in years. What creates that ache? That longing is absence. Emotionally, the same mechanism is at play in relationships. If she never feels your absence, she never feels the need to reach for your presence. That doesn't mean you ignore her or pull back to manipulate. It means you allow space to exist, so she has room to feel something real again. When you're always available, always answering, always pursuing, she never has to wonder about you. She doesn't think about you because she doesn't need to. You've already made yourself too easy to reach, too predictable to desire. But when you create distance not from spite, but from self-respect, something powerful happens. She starts to wonder. She starts to question. She starts to feel the contrast between your presence and your absence. And in that space, emotions begin to stir again. Curiosity, interest, maybe even longing. If she cares, she'll come closer. And if she doesn't, you'll know without having to force it. Either way, space gives you clarity. Chasing clouds, so step back not to get her back, but to get yourself back. Not every woman is meant to stay in your life. That's not failure, that's clarity. When you stop chasing and she doesn't come back, it's not because you weren't good enough. It's because she was never aligned with the man you're becoming. And the sooner you understand that, the freer you become. You see, most men get stuck in the loop of trying to convince someone to care, to stay, to love them the way they want to be loved. They believe that if they just say the right thing, show enough effort, or change themselves slightly, she'll return. But if you have to fight to keep someone interested, you've already lost something bigger. Your self-respect. You don't want a woman who only stays when you chase. You want a woman who chooses you when you're fully in your power. A woman who values your time, your presence, and your emotional strength without you having to constantly prove your worth. That kind of connection doesn't come through control, it comes through alignment. And alignment only happens when you stop pretending, stop performing, and start living in your truth. If she pulled away and didn't return, let that be your filter. Let that be the sign that she was never the one built to walk beside you long term. The wrong woman will drain you while you try to keep her interested. The right one will feel drawn to you without pressure, without chasing, without games. But here's the twist. The right woman won't appear while you're still trying to make the wrong one stay. You've got to make space for her. You've got to walk away when it's time, not because you're giving up, but because you're choosing yourself. This is where most men get stuck. They think walking away is weakness. But walking away from someone who doesn't value you is strength. It's self-respect, it's maturity. It's knowing your worth without needing validation from someone who can't see it. And the more you embody that mindset, the more powerful you become. Not just in relationships, but in life. The moment you stop needing her to come back, you start becoming someone she can't ignore. And if it's not her, it'll be someone better. Someone who sees your value without needing to be convinced. But you don't find her by looking. You find her by becoming the man who leads himself. The man who doesn't negotiate his value. The man who walks in purpose, not fear. So, if she doesn't return, let her go. Not in anger, not in bitterness, but in full acceptance that what's meant for you will feel right, flow easily, and never require you to shrink. You don't need to chase, you need to attract. And you attract by standing tall in who you are, not by chasing someone who's already walked away. Let her leave. And keep becoming the man she wished she never let go of.